Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be unboxing for you all the Adidas Predator Elite FT/FG here in the David Beckham colorway. I got in the US size 11, which is also a women's 12.5. And you can see the colors are beam pink, core black, and whatever that kind of white is. So without further ado, let's open up the box. First thing you get is a wear and care instructions pamphlet or sheet, whatever you call it. And then next, we get the string bag, which is Predator Adidas logo here. And on the opposite side, also says Predator. I have it upside down. But yeah, it says Predator as well. And then, of course, we have the boots. Here is the left boot. Pretty cool looking pair. And here's the right boot. So I'm just going to put all the extras away, set up, and we're going to get straight into this unboxing. As with all my other unboxings, I'm going to start out by giving you guys some basic information about the football boots so you get an understanding of what they are, their price range, the colorway, and their local competition. So, of course, this is the Adidas Predator 25 Elite FG in the fold-over tongue variation. It is part of the David Beckham colorway pack, which was released on August 19th, 2025, so around 3 months ago. And it comes in at a price, regular retail, of $380 Canadian, which is definitely not cheap. It has competition in the form of the Nike Phantom 6 Low or High Elite, the Puma Future 8 Ultimate, the New Balance Tequila Elite V5, the Under Armour Magnetico Elite 5, Skechers SKX_02, and the Mizuno Morelia Neo 4 Beta, depending on how you classify that football boot. As a whole, this boot is part of the control genre, using things like rubber striking elements to help aid in controlling the ball, but more so in striking it. Considering this specific colorway of the Predator 25 Elite FT, I think this is probably one of the best colorways that Adidas has put on this model so far. And so far should be taken with a grain of salt because this boot will be getting replaced very soon. But I digress. The colorway itself is a tribute to the Adidas Predator LZ signature colorway that was released for David Beckham in 2014 and is technically the third tribute that Adidas has made to that colorway. Because in 2022, we got the Adidas Predator LZ 2022, part of the Unite Football colorway pack, and we also got the Adidas Predator Edge LZ Plus as part of the Unite Football pack as well. And while the Predator LZ 2022 was a direct remake of that 2014 variation, the Edge Plus was just kind of a colorway inspiration of that original colorway. So with this Predator 25 Elite, it's another take on that original color. However, Adidas has opted to go for a full pink design instead, keeping the white as minimal as possible, and also using a lighter shade of pink rather than the typical vibrant hot pink that we've been used to seeing on those LZ remakes or inspiration-derived colorways. I think that this is pretty interesting and unique because a lot of pink boots these days do not really opt for dull pinks like this. Me personally, I'm a big enjoyer of pink football boots. I just like the way that they stand out on pitch and the fact that they're an unorthodox colorway, usually for guys or men, whatever you want to call us. A lot of people think it's more of a girl's color, so when a guy does wear it, it definitely draws a lot more attention to themselves on the pitch, which is something that I like to do, both in terms of the boots that I wear and in terms of the way that I play. On camera, it's coming out a bit more of like a salmon color. Like it definitely still looks pink, but probably because of the lighting of my room as well, it's more of a warm yellow lighting. It definitely makes the colorway look a lot more salmon-like or peach colored than it actually is, whereas it's really more so of a pastel faded pink, as Adidas likes to call it, beam pink. And like I said, I think it's a very nice deviation from the typical type of bright pinks that we usually get with other football boots. This will definitely stand out on the pitch. Number one, it's the Predator Elite 25 FT with the fold-over tongue. it's a Beckham colorway, and the fact that it's pink just really helps it pop. So lots to like in terms of the overall colorway. When you look at the actual accents, though, I think they do a nice job of adding a good amount of color break so that the boot doesn't get too repetitive in the pink. Of course, you have the stripes, which are labeled in black, and then you have the actual white accents flowing downstairs, as I like to call it, with the football boot closer to the sole plate. And this helps to keep the pink of the colorway higher up and keep a little more color balanced towards the lower end, helping to split the boot up in a way that makes it feel like it's not just one solid color and there's other accents there. When you look at the rubber elements on the football boot, they're all labeled in white, which I think looks very nice and works a lot better than it would have if they made the accents black, for example, because again, white was a dominant color on the original Predator LZ. So by making sure that it's at least the secondary color of the football boot, it helps stay true to the inspiration that it's trying to replicate. And of course, on the insole, you can see that you get a black insole with the word, or I guess Beckham's last name, written on it in pink. So that's a pretty cool touch as well. Overall, I think the boots look fantastic in this pink colorway. It's just a shame that because of how pastel-like this colorway is, after use, it will definitely appear a lot more dirty and will probably be a bit more difficult to clean. But I still imagine that when you do keep it clean, it will absolutely pop and draw attention to anyone or from anyone who sees you wearing them, because that's just how nice they look. Tech-wise, the Adidas Predator 25 Elite FT is very similar to the boot that came before it, the Adidas Predator 24 Elite FT. That's actually a large reason why I held off on buying this colorway, as I simply could not justify spending full retail plus tax on a football boot that was largely the same as a boot I already had, especially seeing as I don't feel any real nostalgic connection to the Adidas Predator line like I do with the Mercurial, for example, from Nike. With that line, I don't really need any justification to buy another colorway of the same football boot, regardless of generation, because it means that much to me. I don't get that same semblance with the Predator, and as such, that's why I didn't think it would be necessary to buy a football boot that's largely the same, especially considering the fact that Adidas does not truly refresh their boots until 2 years after the initial variation comes out. The year after the initial variation comes out is usually just a slight refresh or upgrade with some minor tweaks to kind of keep customers, I guess, satisfied while they work on the next big thing. And as such, you can technically skip the generation altogether. It just depends on what you want to do. So with this tech analysis, I'm going to try and do a more of a comparative analysis between the Predator 24 and this Predator 25, so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about if you haven't already, considering that this football boot has been out for almost a year now. I have with me my Predator 24 Elite in the Solar Energy colorway, and I will be going through each aspect of the football boot and comparing the two, just so you guys can understand exactly what I mean when I say the two boots are more or less the same. And I'll even give you guys some performance insights as well that you may not know about, given the fact that the two boots are the same. So let's start with the upper, of course. On this 2025 variation, we again get Hybrid Touch. I think it's Hybrid Touch 2.0, as was denoted on this version, but for some reason decided to hide the name. With the Hybrid Touch upper that you have here, you can't even actually tell, but apparently it is softer and thinner than what you got on the 2024 variation. Now, again, that remains to be seen, but I don't think it's something that really matters because the Hybrid Touch on the 2024 variation was already very soft as it is, being that it's supposed to be a leather imitation. It was very soft, molded to the foot very well, and provided a lot of cushion against the ball when you were dribbling, taking a ball out of the air, or taking a shot. So by making it softer and thinner, I think that trends the Predator more so towards something like a speed boot, which is not exactly what most people would be looking for when they think Predator. I feel like the Predator has long been associated with control, but also power. And power is equated with bulkiness, which this Predator very much isn't. Again, it remains to be seen. I actually have to try the boots out myself to see if it really is that much softer. But I imagine what you see here will end up looking something like this, which is buttery soft and extremely moldable to the foot. The next difference comes in terms of the rubber striking elements. Now, with the Predator 25, what Adidas has done is that they've gotten rid of the strike skin fins that you had on the 24. As you can see with the 24, if I take this tongue off really quickly, you had 8 groups of fins that were put together all on the medial instep, which is pretty normal for any Predator. Most of the striking elements are on the medial instep. And there were 44 fins in total, which helped to generate spin on the ball and were very effective for, gripping the ball or controlling it with your instep, especially for things like free kicks. Honestly, I only really use my Predators for free kick sessions when I'm trying to practice my curlers, just because the spin on the ball that they help generate is that good. Whoops. Now with the Predator 25, Adidas has gone with a completely different approach here, eliminating those fins or those groups of fins and going for 6 rows of fins instead across the top of the medial instep. This is more so inspired by the Predator Pulse, which features a similar arrangement for its actual rubber striking elements, whereas what you got from here was more so based off the Predator Mania, if I have my boots correct. Now, here you have 25 rubber fins, whereas here you had 44. So technically, you are getting less rubber on the Predator 25 than on the 24. Now, will that make the boots strike a little worse? Potentially. But again, it's something that I will have to see when I play with the boots myself. And I feel like depending on how good your technique is, you might not even notice the differences in the rubber amount. So that remains to be seen. Another thing that was noted is the fact that the lack of rubber here means that the upper has more freedom to mold, flex, and conform to the foot of the player using them, making it a bit more malleable than what you get from the 2024 variation. Again, is it really that important? No, because this molds to the foot very well. And as such, this is not different enough to where I think, yeah, I need to get this because the upper is going to be that much different. Putting the tongues back on the football boots. We just do that really quickly. You guys can see that the tongues are largely the same, although the tongue on the 25 seems to be smaller and more refined, whereas the one on the 24 is a lot larger and a lot bulkier, covering more surface area. So I feel like this has a bit more padding to it, whereas this again trends more in that raw, more pure direction, if that makes sense. When it comes to the shaping of the football boots, they are largely the same. Obviously, in the toe box, it kind of tapers and becomes more pointy. I've heard some people say that toe box room on the 25 is less than on the 24, but to me, having them both side by side, they look more or less identical. And in my personal experience, my smallest toe or my 5th toe would rub against the outstep of the football boot in the 24. So I feel like I'm probably going to have that issue again on the 25, which with some break in time will eventually dissipate, but that's going to be an annoyance I'm going to have to put up with for a little bit. Through the midfoot, it's pretty, standard. Same thing on this one, it's just used. And then in the heel area, you get the exact same construction. 2 heel pillows on either side. These ones are in white and black, of course, whereas with this one, it's in yellow and black. Same thing pretty much, same tongue, or I guess heel tab. Of course, this is not as narrow anymore because the boots have been used a lot. But yeah, that's exactly what you're going to see from this football boot when all is said and done. Because this has a wider heel opening due to the placement of the tongue, you will suffer from lockdown a bit if you lace the boots normally, but that's nothing that you can't solve by doing the runner's loop or by utilizing grip socks. Heel counter wise, it's an external plastic heel counter. Same thing on the 24, and that's because the outsoles of the 2 boots are the exact same, as you guys can see here. Being the launch variation, you can see that the graphics are a little bit different. Of course, Predator is written from basically the front of the sole plate to the back, but in terms of the actual sole plate designs, it's still the same control frame 2.0. with kind of like a dual plate going on, with this upper part here being one piece and then a bit of a stiffener bar being a separate piece over here, which is the exact same thing that you got on the original Predator 24. And the stud pattern, of course, is the same tri-star stud pattern that you got from the 24. These ones are, of course, newer, so they look a lot more refined and a lot more quality. But in general, so you guys can see, the 24 and the 25 are more or less the same and only really differ in terms of the upper quality, I guess, and the rubber striking elements. That's the real only noticeable difference you're going to get from these two boots. So again, when I say that the two boots are the same and I just couldn't justify spending $380 on getting the Predator 25 when I had the 24, I hope you guys can see why, because they are literally the exact same football boots. That being said, the Predator 24 is a fantastic football boot, really enjoyable to use, very comfortable on the ball, and just for general daily play. You're not really going to feel like, oh, I really want to get these off after a 90-minute shift. They feel phenomenal. And as such, I imagine that these football boots in the form of the 25 will provide the exact same vibes when all is said and done. As is the theme of this unboxing, the Predator 25 Elite FT feels very similar to the previous generation Predator 24. The upper feels very soft and pliable, with more softness to be had as the boots are broken in. Contrary to Adidas claims, though, it doesn't feel thinner than the Hybrid Touch 2.0 upper on the Predator 24. That may change, though, after a session with the boots. Shape-wise, you still get a tapered toe box, both width and volume-wise. The midfoot has a narrow to neutral shaping, in my opinion, and the heel is admittedly well sculpted. However, the gap created by the fold-over tongue and the lack of padding in the heel area compromises its overall security as well as the security of the midfoot, thus promoting heel slippage, which was also common on the 24. Like most other boots, though, using grip socks and the runner's loop can help to alleviate this issue. Some might find the toe box to be a little uncomfortable, as it may rub against the toes, especially on the lateral aspect, which is something that I experienced while using the 24 and while filming the B-roll for the 25 in this video. Underfoot is nothing special, as the Control Frame 2.0 remains a solid base that isn't too stiff or too soft, providing a good level of both comfort and stability. The studs contribute to that balanced feel given this tri-star shape's versatility across a wide range of pitches. And when it comes to the colorway, it is very nice admittedly. Hopefully, the camera flash is doing a good job of highlighting the trueness of the pink. The top-down view is especially nice with white socks, as they match perfectly with the white accents from this colorway. Overall, it is a good package on feet, and if you've worn the Predator 24 before and liked that experience, then you'll definitely enjoy the wearing experience of the 25 as well. So yeah, guys, that kind of wraps up my unboxing and overview of the Adidas Predator 25 Elite FT in this David Beckham colorway. As I stated throughout the video and on the on-feet portion, it is definitely a very good football boot. And I have a lot of high expectations for when it comes to actually taking these on the pitch, because they feel very nice on feet, they fit very nice on feet, and they look very nice on feet without a doubt. But like I said, these boots are extremely similar to the Predator 24 that I showed you guys during the tech spec comparison, as if you want to call it something like that. And they're just not worth it the way things are right now. The only reason I ended up picking these up is because at the time of recording this video, Adidas is having a Black Friday sale where some of their stuff is up to 60% off. And when I was browsing the sale, I actually saw that they had the Beckham Preds for $171 Canadian, which is almost 60% off the full $380 retail price. Now, I don't care who you are, what you think about the Predator, whether you care about high-end boots or not, but for that price to get a special edition fold over tongue elite level Predator, like, I couldn't pass it up. And the fact of the matter is that I did want this colorway. I definitely thought it's a really cool colorway, but for me, having the Predator 24, I just couldn't justify buying it. So when that price came out, it was the perfect, I guess, kind of signal that it was time to finally pick up this colorway. And of course, I went and snagged it, especially when you consider the fact that the Predator 26, at the time of recording this video, it's coming out, but by the time this video comes out, it might already be out, because I know there's a special colorway that's being leaked for the launch, so it might already be out at this point. But especially considering that's coming out. If you have the Predator 24, I wouldn't even consider getting the Predator 25 because you're just getting the same boot pretty much. And unless you really love the Predator, you don't need it. The 26 is coming out. That's actually going to be a tangible change compared to what's coming or what has been around with the Predator 25. So I'd say save your peas and just go for the 26. Or if you can find a 25 very deeply discounted, then yeah, go for it. That everything I'm saying about like not buying it does not by any means mean that this is not a good football boot, because it really is. Don't get it twisted. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely fun to play with and just a blast on feet. But yeah, just I don't like the way like some brands do this whole half cycle thing where they release a boot and then they release the same boot the next season with some updates and call it a brand new model. It's kind of pathetic in a way. Like, give us something new, or just wait until whatever is new is like properly ready so that we can get a truly new product. Kind of how Nike does it with their 2-year cycle. I don't want to come out one year buying F50 or a Predator, and then the next year I'm buying the same boot with like a few tweaks on it that don't even make it that much different. You know what I mean? But anyways, I digress on that rant. That's it for my unboxing and my overview of the Adidas Predator 25 Elite. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know if you have these boots. Let me know what you think about the Predator 25 in general. And let me know if you guys are excited about the upcoming Predator 26, because I know I sure am. And I can't wait to get my hands on those and then make a comparison video between the 24, the 25, and then the 26. And of course, make sure to subscribe. Use the hype button as well, as it helps boost my content within the algorithm and gets my content out to more potential viewers. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Stay tuned, as there will be plenty of other unboxings, footy talks, and training sessions to come. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.